put on the intake manifold.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the bitch about to be ported.
These are a lot thicker than these. And as you go to accelerate, they open up like this.
What's good? Throttle Havoc here.
I'm Alpha.
I'm Jason.
And today we got a new video for y'all. What video you say?
We put on the intake manifold.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the bitch about to be ported.
Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, follow the build. Also, my car will be coming to the channel pretty soon. Also, if you guys haven't already, go ahead and check out our other channel, Team Bust Down, where we do challenges, pranks, public interviews over there. It's pretty funny. It's lit.
All right, so today we have Ashanti here with us. She's a 2017 Mustang GT Performance Pack. Like I said, putting on a ported intake manifold. My plans with this car, kind of want to, you know, autocross, drag strip, we doing it all. You know what I'm saying? We already got some videos on that as it is, but we want to go to a really aggressive NA setup. So y'all stay tuned for that. I'm talking heads, cams, do the whole video on that, so go check that out. But today we doing a ported intake manifold and 47-pound injectors and a Lund Flex fuel tune. So we're gonna give you all an in-depth install, and we're gonna show you guys the vacuum routing, because I know the vacuum routing with the lockouts, they get a little finicky. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't really go in depth into it, and it gets a little confusing. So we're gonna do our best of how we're gonna do it to show you how we're gonna do it. So y'all stay tuned for that.
If you guys don't want to listen to the most informational part of the video, the time will be on the screen. So guys want to skip, go ahead and okay, the reason why we went with the Gen 3 Coyote ported manifold is because this probably is the best bang for your buck. And also, if you guys want to see how this manifold stacks up against the other on the market, we will have a video up top. VMP has made a couple videos on it. We're not associated with VMP, but if you guys want to check that out, the link will be up here.
All right, so we do have the IMRCs locked out on this intake manifold. IMRC stands for intake manifold runner controls, for those of you who do not know. I'll explain later on in the video what those do, but they make the vacuum routing a lot easier if you take them out. A lot of tuners suggest that you take them out. Some don't, some do, but I'll explain later on what they do. But basically, this intake manifold compared to the stock Gen 2 manifold flows a lot better. Even if the intake manifold runner controls were still active, it would help with a little bit torque down low. But basically, this does not provide as much torque down low compared to that one, but it carries power all the way to 7,500 RPM, which this one does not. At 6,500, this one falls dead on its face, okay? So this right here, since the car is being tuned, we won't notice the torque loss. We'll only see gains, and we will be going to the dyno probably next video, so you guys can see the benefits that this gave us. The porting is going to add probably like another 5 to 7 horsepower over the stock 2018 manifold. So like I said, this intake manifold does carry power up to 7,500 RPM. So with the tune, we will be bumping it up to 7,500 RPM, and this manifold will accompany heads and cams nicely, because then at that point we'll be able to rev it out with the heads and cams to about at least 8,000, 8,500 plus. I'll probably be shifting like 8,000, but to accompany this today, we are throwing on some 47-pound injectors. They are about 493.5 cc's, if I'm not mistaken, for you guys who go by cc's. The stock injectors are 34 pounds an hour, and I think that's about 357 cc. So it's a pretty substantial gain. Disclaimer, for those of you who think injectors do not give you power, they just allow you to make more because you can inject more fuel. In this case, we need it because we are going on a flex fuel tune. So the car cannot run E85 with a manifold because the airflow is just too much. So you can run E85, believe it or not, on the stock manifold with stock injectors. But that's on like a fairly stock car. Not talking about like you boosted guys who keep stock manifolds. Obviously not. But so we will be doing a video on the benefits of E85 and the differences between octane rating or such. Probably like the next like 4 videos down the road or something like that. I notice a lot of people don't understand.
Step 1, you will have to remove this fuse 49, which is your fuel pump fuse. Step 2, after your fuse is removed, you will have to turn the car a few times to get the pressure bleeded out from the system. Step 3, this only applies if you have a performance pack or if you have a strut hard brace. You will have to remove it.
Yeah, we'll just cut between like each one.
Yeah.
I can just close the garage door.
That's cool.
So you don't hear it.
Yeah, go ahead, keep going. And give me that one. Just keep cracking. Nah, you got one more over there.
Oh, it's another one?
Four.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Step 4, you will have to remove the cold air intake.
What the hell is that?
Alright, so now we got that. Yeah, so side note, I really do recommend y'all get catch cans. The driver's side don't do shit unless you boost it, but this stuff works wonders. So I highly recommend that. Just if you love your engine, get one. That should be one of your first mods.
Step 5, you want to remove this purge right here and this line.
Yeah.
Also this one as well. What you want to do is remove this clip right here. Take a flathead.
Like, yeah.
Also make sure to remove the throttle body cable. Also, if you guys have a hose or a catch can, be sure to unplug that as well. Step 6, you want to make sure you move these 4 10mm bolts, which is holding down the vacuum line assembly as well as the heater hose trays. We already did it. Step 7, you got to remove this fuel line, which will you slide this back. Step 8, you want to remove the heater hose line, move it off to the side, take off the tray. Then you want to take this line, take them off. Then you want to get some pliers and remove these clips. All right, now that you guys got this vacuum line off, you want to see these, the same double clip as the last one that you took off. You want to go ahead and get some pliers. Now you want to remove the vacuum line assembly. Also, pull these foam inserts out. Step 10, what you want to do is remove these 6 8mm bolts. There's 3 on each side, one right here, one in the middle, and one in the back. And then also what you want to do is remove these 2 blue clips in the back.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we got the manifold propped up, we will have to get to these 2 white clips on each side. They're kind of a little hard to get to, but
There. All right, take this out. If you've reached this point, that means you successfully have taken the stock manifold off. So now there's a couple of things we got to transfer over. The vacuum rod is a little different, so we're gonna get into that. But all you gotta do is transfer over your throttle body. This is the purge valve. You're gonna have to transfer this into the new vacuum routing. But as you see here, it's mounted to the Gen 2 manifold. There is no routing point on here for that, so you just have to, you know, route it into the vacuum line. I'll show you how to do that. But aside from that, yeah, it shouldn't be too complicated. We'll show you guys how to route up the vacuum.
now that we got the manifold off, we sealed off both sides to make sure nothing falls into the cylinder. Now we're gonna zip tie these 4 sensors.
All right, since we locked out the intake manifold runners, you want to make sure these 4 plugs that you took off the intake manifold, you zip tie them very tight to the wire loom, because your knock sensors are right here. So if these are bouncing around, it can cause false knock, and the car is going to start pulling timing, and it's going to be really annoying. It's going to take everything back apart, and make sure you zip tie them good. So just make sure you put them tight to the wire loom, so that way it's not bouncing around on the actual engine block while you're driving. So
That's tight enough?
Just pull it as tight as you can.
No, that is tight as
Okay, yeah. All right, so as y'all can see, the difference is these are a lot thicker than these. Like, these narrowed down a lot, these flow a lot more air. And just for demonstration purposes, I took off one of the lockouts so I can show you how the IMRCs work. So 1 second. So you can see these little flaps right here. This is a good one, for example. So basically, they have a little, see the little space right in here. When you are idling or like at low RPM, they're closed, and as you go to accelerate, they open up like this and go flat. So they're not really a restriction. Like I said, they just make it a lot easier to do the vacuum routing. Yeah, like on the older cars, like the 96 and 98 Cobra had them, and they were just really restrictive. On here, they're flush, so if you want to keep them, you can. It's just, you know, I took these off, but these are vacuum actuated. You can tell, you can hear the air sucks in, whatever. Another thing, these lockouts I got on eBay for like 14, 15 bucks. They're billet aluminum, same thing that you would get from, per se, MMR or Auto Mafia Racing. These look really nice, same quality pieces to what they make. They don't do anything aside from lock them out. Some people use zip ties, but these are like 14 bucks. Go on eBay, don't waste the money on getting MMR or Auto Mafia Racing lockouts. MMR is like 69 bucks and Auto Mafia Racing is like 49 for these little ass billet aluminum pieces, like rip off. Yeah, go with these. All right, so for starters, what we're gonna do is gonna take this rubber stuff off of the hose. And you can now see your aspirator assembly. So now we're gonna take the aspirator off. All right, so once you have the aspirator assembly off, if you got it off, you wanna go ahead and get this clip off right here. Yeah. All right, so now this is the aspirator hose. We took off the hose that was here. This is the piece that goes to the brake booster. Now that you're looking at the aspirator, you want to cut this piece right here. Okay, now that this is cut in half, this is going to be what we use for the bottom of the purge valve. I'll show you that in a minute. Now what you want to do, you have this hose. This is the only one on the aspirator with the clip like this. This is gonna go on the bottom of this, and I'll show you why in a minute. But let me oh, okay, it came on. All right, so this hose right here is the only one off of this aspirator that has a clip on the bottom. Your aspirator at this point should be looking like this. So now you're gonna plug this up to the bottom. All right, so this is the hose I was showing you. Once you get it all the way on, now we can go ahead and go back to the brake booster and hook this back up. All right, so now how we got this set up how it is. Remember, this was the only hose on the aspirator that looked like this. So let's rotate this around a little bit. Okay, we're gonna put this on here like how we took it off. Now we are back at the brake booster again. Plug it back in right here on the fitting. I changed the clamps out just because I think the factory clamps are shit. I do not like them. I'm fighting with them all day. Okay, now that everything's connected to the brake booster, you're gonna take the hose that's connected to the brake booster. This piece right here that we added on, we're going to go ahead and clip this back in. Not gonna fully tighten it just yet. Let's get everything attach first. Okay, so now the purge that we took off the other intake manifold, what we're gonna do, the plug that goes into the purge is right here. This was the green one that we took off earlier, which goes right here. All right, so you see we got the power for the solenoid. The clip is right here. Right now we have these two clips like the ones we took off earlier. This one goes in first. Like that. And you gotta clip this one on after. Like that. We got one last hose to connect, which will be this to this. All right, now, so the final thing was to push this purge in here. You really don't need to put a couple in there, but you can if you want to. The thing is, it's such a tight fit to get this in here. So it's really not gonna go anywhere like at all. But yeah, so let's go over that again. So as you can see, you got the stock routing to the brake booster. You follow it up. You took that piece that had the clip on there off of the aspirator, put that in here. This one was the one that we cut in half. That goes into the bottom of the purge. Then the one that we took off earlier that had the green clips on it, that goes into the side of the purge, and then you have the power. And that's pretty much it, guys, with the lockouts. I mean, on these manifolds, you don't have to cap this off, but I mean, it looks better to me. I'd rather have it capped off. I mean, it just runs through back to the IMRCs, which we don't have anymore. So you can cap that off. Over here we have our PCV line. In our case, we have a catch can. And just as well here, we got the PCV or catch can, whatever you have. You're gonna cap off this fitting on the back of the intake because you no longer need it. And same thing here, but this one was already capped off. And this is just a sound tube. So if you have one, you'll plug it up, but we don't. So aside from that, it's pretty simple. I mean, if you have the intake manifold runner controls not locked out, you have to do more vacuuming here. But there are a bunch of videos on that. I haven't seen too many on the lockouts though. So basically, you don't have to put a cap on here or on the back here where you can see the red cap. But I did just because I don't like how it looks without the cap. But it just runs straight back to where the IMRCs would be. So nothing is gonna be affected if you don't cap it off. But aside from that, yeah, the routing's pretty easy. So now let's get everything buttoned up. We just gotta tighten this back down. I actually did modify the engine cover so it would fit to a certain degree. It's not gonna fit perfectly, but it'll at least sit on there flush. I got a Dremel and a saw so I can clearance it for back here. But aside from that, now all we have to do is upload the tune from Lund, and we'll get on the inside of the car and show you that in a minute. All right, so as y'all can see, we are in the car. We are about to start the tuning process, but just real quick, I wanted to show you guys this mount. So they don't make N gauges anymore, but if you guys have one or can get your hands on one and you are tired of the condensation that forms up because of the gauge being in the because of the gauge being where the AC vent was, I actually have this magnetic mount you can pick up. I'll put the link in the description, but it has like vents on the top, so that way the air comes out and it doesn't form condensation, and it puts it more in an upright position instead of being slanted in. And it's also magnetic, so you can take it in and out a lot easier. But yeah, let's get to the tuning process. All right, so we're gonna start loading the tune. Flash is tune, yes. Take about 8 minutes. Check. Now the car's gonna start freaking out and doing a whole bunch of shit and turning on and off. We'll get back to y'all when it's done. Alright, so now it's done. We gotta turn the car off for 10 seconds and then start it back up. So let's see, make sure we did everything right. And it's been about 15 seconds, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a start. data logging. Alright, so now we got a data log. The tuner wants us to get a 3 to 5 minute idle log, and then revved to 1500 RPM and hold for 10 to 15 seconds. Then do the same for 2500 and 3500. Then he wants us to keep the engine running and drive it. In second or third gear, do a couple slow RPM climbs from 2500 to 5000 RPM. And then he wants to do a watt pull to 7000 RPM. And then wants to come to a stop and let it idle for 1 or 2 minutes. So we got to do all that. We're going to get it done. We'll come back to y'all when we about to do the pull and let y'all know how it feels. This is just a bass tune. This is because what we have is a flex tune, but first we have to get the bass tune dialed in. So we'll have more info on that later and how it feels, but we'll be back with y'all. Alright, once this car passes, we're going to do a watt hit in second gear. And then after that, the tuner said after we do a wide open throttle pull, pull over, idle for like 1 to 2 minutes. So as soon as this car passes, I'm going to go ahead and do a second gear hit all the way to, he said how much? To 7,000 RPM. We're not going to 7,500 yet. Okay.
Alright, that's gonna be all for this video, but next video we will be going to the dyno to see how much we're making. We will keep you guys updated. If you guys haven't already, go check out our Instagram page, Throttle Havoc. We do upload there, so if you guys want to see what's next, what we got coming, go ahead and check that out. Also, again, go ahead and check out Team Bust Down. That's our other channel where we do pranks, challenges, and public interviews. But without further ado, man, we out.